what's up, y'all? Welcome to Reactive Training Systems. I'm Coach Ross Leppala. I want to dive in on a couple of things today that were recently brought up in a podcast between Coach Mike and Gabby with Evans Nana. He had some really good things to say that I think are incredibly valuable for us in our pursuit of strength, and I want to expand on those a little bit more. For those of you who either may have not caught that episode or want to refamiliarize yourself, let's check in on that before we start expanding here.
You said something when you were talking about your competition in Portugal. You said that, you went into that competition mentally very relaxed and performed really well. Is that a mentality that you now aim for? Maybe you always kind of aim for it, just to compete, relax, and that's where you find your peak performance at?
So just like powerlifting, you have some athletes that only do specific show a year. That is advised, but then again, to the upcoming strongman, or like athletes, I would like to advise them to put themselves out there more. Because the advantage of that is it made me kind of master the craft, and it made me realize, look, there's nothing to lose. I just have to go out there and do what I do best. And the more and more I competed, like trying to make a name for myself last year, I got really confident. And I believed more in myself, and I got more relaxed because I knew even if I don't make it on this comp, I could make it on the next comp. So that was the mindset, the growth mindset I had. Obviously, there are risks putting your body online, which some coaches will not advise. So I remember talking to some pros in the Giants Live, and I telling them how many comps I did a year. They were like, damn, Evans, that's really much. But then again, that's what fastened up my progress. Because I was willing to put myself on there, and I knew the factors like me being young, me being able to recover faster, and all of these.
Yeah.
So talking of the patience and the relaxed mentality, I'm grateful for the comps I actually took on, the risks I actually took on, and it made me more better mentally because, like I said, putting yourself out there really, really, really builds character,
Some really fantastic stuff there. There's all kinds of stuff that we could probably get into from a training standpoint, a stimulus standpoint, but there's something really important there that I think is beyond the sets and reps that we normally talk about. It's the growth mindset. We do things all the time to intentionally train our muscles and make them bigger and make them stronger and more efficient. We need to also intentionally train our minds. That is very important. That is what contributes to that growth mindset. And there's two really big things that I want to point out to you and share with you that I think are really vital to developing and using that growth mindset. One, we have to change the way and reframe the way at which we look at mistakes. There's a lot of times when we make mistakes that we kind of beat ourselves up about it and we get down on ourselves about it. That's not very good. At the end of the day, every single one of us will make mistakes. I don't care how talented you are, how strong you are, what your experience level is. You will make mistakes in your training. You will make mistakes on the platform. That's part of what we are as humans. We make mistakes. And there is no avoiding that. That is just a simple fact of life. So if we're going to make them, we need to make use of them. And we're better served and serve ourselves better when we look at mistakes as learning opportunities. When we look at those moments as learning opportunities, that's when we can grow and expand. We can better ourselves. And the way I look at it is if we beat ourselves up over that and we are negative on ourselves about it, we block ourselves from the ability to learn. And when we block that ability to learn, the thing that we're going to do, we're going to repeat those same mistakes over and over and over again. That's one of the biggest reasons why that growth mindset is so important, so that we can grow past and expand past making those mistakes. The other part of that is, while it's important for us to be able to look at technique and look at choices and look at errors and things of that nature to bring awareness to them, to learn from them, to know what we did that was an error in the first place so that we can correct it and remedy it. The other aspect of it is we really need to learn to celebrate what is right and what we're doing correctly. When we celebrate those things that we're doing right and doing correctly, whether it be, again, choices in load selection, choices in RPE, choices in our sets and reps, choices in, just our attitude and mentality for the day, when we reinforce what we do right, we increase the odds of those things happening. They're going to be more frequent. And those are the things that we want to be more frequent and more consistent, is those things that we're doing well and doing correct. So we have to remember to celebrate those. There's one other reason that I really want to check in with this growth mindset. And let's check back in with something else that Evan had to say during this episode.
But the question is, what are limits? Limits are, I believe, are like mental barriers we create for ourselves. An example is Jesus Olivares, one of the allegedly strongest on earth. He didn't put limits on himself. He's still pushing it. Who knows? He recently broke the squat record. He could be the first to squat 500 kilos. So see, it's really interesting then again, because Jesus is pretty young. Because having to be a strength athlete, I follow up with a powerlifter, big names and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really nice seeing his training, going through the whole process. It also advises me, limits are boundaries you put in your mind. The body was made to actually overcome this. To really put yourself out there. Think about it.
I love that. What are limits? What are the limitations? Likely every single one of us has to have some kind of physical limitation. There's some physical ceiling and some physical capacity. And one of the things that is common in our sport of powerlifting is we are after the pursuit of pushing against that boundary, finding and exploring where that boundary exists. The hard part with a lot of that is most of us don't reach it because we butt up against the boundary long before the physical boundary, and that's that mental boundary. Most boundaries are the things that we put on ourselves from our mind. They're self-limiting beliefs, whether that be something in a physical form or something in a learning aspect, things of that nature. I'm sure most of you are familiar with who Bill Kazmaier is. Bill Kazmaier, world's strongest man, back in the early 80s, first American to win it. Incredible human. I've had the pleasure of meeting Bill and actually getting to train with Bill when I lived in Alaska. It was a really cool experience. One of the things that Bill talks about in some of the motivational work that he does, he has the saying, dream, believe, achieve. And what I love about that is it happens in that order. Every single thing that we do in our life, whether it's training or life or college, whatever, you first dream it, then you have to believe it, then you will achieve it. Never will it happen in any other order than that. Whatever your belief is, that's the limitation. That's the capacity in your life, in your training, whatever it is. So when we have these things that we intentionally cultivate a growth mindset and we intentionally work to expand our mind, when we expand our mind in that way, we elevate that belief. If we have a low-level belief, that's as high as we're going to go. If we want to get higher, if we want to accomplish and expand more, we have to learn how to expand those beliefs so that we can grow past those self-limiting beliefs. They are a limitation created in our mind. And when we cultivate that growth mindset, that's when we can expand that false limiting belief so that we can go out there and get that next PR and find out what our true physical limitation, our true physical capacity is. If you think about it, look at the sport of powerlifting. Look at how the numbers have absolutely blown up over the last 10, 12 years. Like since the first time that I went to a national level meet in 2012, holy cow. The weight class, the numbers have just blown me away. It's wild. That is people breaking past those self-limiting beliefs. Nobody could run a 4-minute mile, and then I forget the guy's name, ran a first 4-minute mile, and then everybody could do it after that. Same thing with powerlifting. Hardly anybody could squat 500 pounds. Somebody does it, then everybody does it. And then 600, and then 700. Now we have how many people squatting 1,000 pounds? How many more people are going to do it? We have to break free and grow past those self-limiting beliefs. I hope that helps you. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, shoot me a message, let me know. If you got any questions, I can expand more. Have a good day.